the talking point has been the Olympics that recently concluded, and India's one of the best performances in a very long time. Now, very few people were perhaps expecting this. What are your initial comments on this, and what do you think the government did different this time to actually make a difference and to take it up a notch?
Before this 2020 Tokyo Olympics was only 6 medals in 2012 in London. So the benchmark that we were dealing was not exactly very high. It was just 6 medals, and that's not exactly that much for a country of India's stature, as we keep repeating. So on that front, I fully expected us to have our best Olympics ever, in at least in terms of leveling up to London 2012 or surpassing that. And if you remember, it wasn't just these 7 medals, but a lot of athletes came very, very close. You have these 7 medals that we have, including the big golden boy, Neeraj Chopra, right at the end. But you also had a number of athletes who, came very close in very unexpected sports like, rowing, and a lot of other things, which surprised a lot of people, including, I'm told even people in the sports ministry and the federations as well. So in that sense, a lot of very good surprises, were in store for us. Sindhu on another day could have even got a gold medal. Bajrang could have got a gold. And then you had Lavina, coming against all odds and winning that bronze. You had Mirabai winning the silver. So you had a lot of positive, surprises. At the same time, of course, you had, Mary, who tragically could not, probably end her last Olympic Games with another medal. And then, you had, Vinesh Phogat again, who's very, very highly ranked, very highly rated, who tragically again could not do it. Neither could Sonam and the other, highly sought after, wrestlers. So on that front, there were a few, disappointments, and of course, the biggest disappointment that I was coming to was Deepika Kumari, and in archery, where she, was world number one, and a lot of, hopes on her. So some disappointments there, but on the whole, while we should acknowledge and feel very proud of our 7 medals there, what shouldn't be forgotten is that a lot of athletes finished fourth, fifth, and came very, very close, losing out in the semifinals. So all in all, it's been a good campaign. It's been a very good campaign. And I think you asked broadly about the larger sporting ecosystem in India, and that's something that I think both of us, the entire country, everyone listening should be really, really proud, because what this government has done, if you compare to what was there previously and under the Narendra Modi regime in 2014, towards the latter half of 2014, this government under at that time, Anurag Thakur, who is currently the sports minister, but at the time he wasn't. He was just an MP. He led this committee and set up something called TOPS, Targeted Olympic Podium Scheme. Now, what this TOPS does is it looks at around 6 or 7 high priority sports. I'm talking about archery, badminton, wrestling, weightlifting, and a couple more. You have shooting, and I'm not sure if I'm recollecting, but around 6, 7 high priority sports where traditionally India has done well. And we've looked upon these high priority sports and tried to focus all our energies on that to maximize in those sports where we are traditionally very good, both in terms of genetics, both in terms of history. If you look at previous Olympic records, and of course our overall skill set. For example, we know that China is very good at table tennis, for example. India has been traditionally good at shooting. India has now got a great reputation at weightlifting, at wrestling, where the likes of Bajrang, Sakshi, and others have really excelled. So in that sense, I think government has done a really good thing by identifying these 6 or 7 sports where we are good at, where we are competent, where our body structure of the athletes is aligned to winning medals or excelling in that sport. And then what they've done is they've basically, of course, apart from the monthly stipend given to all these athletes who fall under this top scheme, effectively you have, as the government of India, they have given these athletes who've identified in this top scheme the best of facilities in terms of foreign training, in terms of coaches, in terms of exposure, in terms of tournaments, that they can compete at. And they've given these guys, so much of exposure. Like, for example, Neeraj, like a lot of the foreign athletes, I can tell you, when COVID struck in March 2020 or even earlier, Feb 2020, a lot of the foreign athletes had actually come back to their base camp as in their home country and, the city where they live in, and kind of just, put their feet up or try to do whatever they could training at home. Neeraj was actually told by the, Athletics Federation and of course by the private bodies that sponsor him as well, to remain there in Europe, to continue his training with absolutely no interruption, no delay whatsoever. He was given full backing by, both the Athletics Federation of India, the Sports Ministry, JSW Sports, which sponsors him, which manages him as well. And that you can see the result of that. You can see the impact that, continuous, focused, no hindrance training does to that. And, you've seen the gold medal arrive home. And the same thing for athletes like Bajrang, who has a very close relationship with his coach Shako, and plenty of others. And Sindhu, of course, is Sindhu. She's a GOAT now. So in that sense, what this top scheme does is really it prioritizes areas where they're good at, and it really sort of puts certain eggs in that basket and gives these athletes the wings to fly. So in that sense, unlike previously where it's you kind of making a khichdi and putting every single trying to put a piece here, a piece there, and trying to make something out of it. Here there is a plan, there's a targeted approach, there's a clear direction, and you're seeing it now. In terms of how much we progressed, how many medals we won in Commonwealth 2018, Asian Games 2018, and now in the Olympics. And Sharan, one very interesting stat coming back. So as of today, there are roughly around 104, 105 athletes in this top scheme. And if you go back to, and many of these athletes, or literally every single one of these athletes have, won medals in the sense that, I beg your pardon, all the ones who won medals are all, top scheme athletes. So anyone who's in the top scheme has, gone on to win medals. But if you look at the Commonwealth Games of 2018, which happened in Gold Coast, down under in Australia, out of 70 odd Indian athletes who won medals, 47 of them were in the top scheme. 47 of them. Right. So it goes to show what planning has been done and the results that have been done accordingly. So there's a clear direction here with this new regime, and a way forward which can only happen through proper planning right from the top all the way to the grassroots.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.